So this title doesn't really tell us too much. So we're definitely going to need the IMDb plot to at least get us started here. So let's see what it has to say. Lots here. So in a world where no one speaks, a devout female-led community hunts down a young woman who has escaped imprisonment. Recaptured, Azrael is due to be sacrificed to an ancient evil in the wilderness, but fights for her own survival. Okay, we're in a different kind of area here that kind of gonna give a little bit of a clue what this movie is about. Um, this one has been shown at some film festivals and is going to be on Shutter here, so that's where you guys will be able to catch it. So this is definitely a new film, so I will definitely be spoiler free with it. I guess there's a little bit of twists and turns towards the end. So yeah, I'll try to leave some of that for you guys to see and witness. Definitely an interesting film and interesting what's going on here with some of the stuff that I just read for you guys. Early on, I guess, it said a female-led community, but I could swear I saw some guys in here. Maybe the community, maybe, whatever. Early on, if I remember correctly, she was with a guy. Obviously, neither of them speak. They're kind of just there in the woods doing their own thing until they start, they hear somebody and they hear some commotion, then they kind of start to scatter and run, and then people are chasing them. So maybe the female-led community is the one that's trying to catch them, but I certainly don't think everybody in this movie was female. At least I don't remember. So that kind of takes me back, and maybe I need to go revisit the film. But anyway, yeah, so they kind of being split up and chased down, and they're both captured, in a little bit of a dramatic, chase kind of scene to start the movie. And they're separated, and we don't really gonna see him for a while. And as as it says there, the focus is mostly on her. So she's eventually taken out and sat in this chair, and these weird group of people are kind of standing around her, and one of them decides to kind of like cut her leg. So she's just bleeding a little bit. And then they all kind of stand back, start doing this chant, and most of them are kind of in this trance as they're doing this chant. And before you know it, you see something kind of coming out of the bushes. And you're not really sure what it is. She's very panicked. She's trying her best to get loose, get out of this chair. She sees what's coming. I'm sure she kind of knows what's coming. Certainly don't know what's happening here. But then, one of the people who are chanting aren't completely into it. They're still a little bit of awake. So as they kind of see her almost about to break loose, they go and try to secure her. She obviously, they kind of get in a struggle. And then before you know it, these creatures, all them creatures come out of the bushes and proceed to kill not her, but this other person here that was trying to subdue her, and basically you start eating this guy, and very interesting. I'm all excited at this point. We're getting some chopping being done. We're seeing some blood spilling around. I'm happy with it. I'm excited. I'm like, all right, here we go. A strange kind of environment here, but we got some blood and guts. Let's see if we can continue this. So then almost the chase scene kind of expands. She's going to escape. Obviously, she sees these weird creatures. She's going to run for it. She runs for it. Once these people kind of get out of their trance and their chanting or whatever, they realize, hey, what is going on here? Did they eat her? No, it doesn't look like they ate her, but it looks like they ate somebody. What the hell is happening here? And then they realize she has escaped, and then, the chase is on. and then we kind of get that little bit of chase for a while. So there's a little bit of them chasing, a little bit of her escaping, a little bit of her fighting her way out of them. And then we have these creatures mixed in between. And those creatures are going to maybe catch a person or two and maybe eat a person or two. So all the excitement all over again. I'm excited about it. I'm watching them eat. It's good stuff. I enjoy that. I won't press on too much further with what happens. Obviously, you're going to get a glimpse of this community that's trying to catch her. Some weird stuff going on. What's kind of the monsters are definitely unusual, but another unusual thing about this movie is there's not a lot of talking. Obviously, as it said in the beginning, nobody talks. So that makes the movie kind of weird, or just different. I mean, we're used to, of course, a lot of dialogue and so forth, in those things going on. So you definitely kind of have to kind of follow along and see what's happening. From that standpoint, there's just not a lot of talking in this movie. So that makes it a little bit different, especially your main character who's just not vocal. So as she's going through this chase or whatever, there's nothing to be spoken. She does do this thing where it almost seems like she's trying to talk, but she's more like she's trying to gasp for air. Just an interesting thing, I haven't told you too many details about these creatures and so forth, these monsters, creatures, whatever you want to call them. They almost do the same thing. They can't really speak either, so they kind of almost gasp for air too at times. So that's one of the things they do. Otherwise, I would say that they're all black. They almost look like tars kind of run over them, and there's a human-like thing to them. That they look a little bit human. They almost look like a human had black tar kind of poured over them, and then mutated a little bit. I guess that's kind of my description of them. But I would definitely say they're very interested in eating people and blood. So I think, anytime somebody has blood on them, that's a big problem. And, you're going to get eaten. So definitely approve of every scene in the movie where these creatures are attacking somebody, eating somebody. Some good stuff there. I enjoyed it. Definitely got me excited. And, when that kind of stuff happens, maybe I don't really pay attention to the rest of the movie. I really like that. But yeah, we're going to kind of see her try to escape these creatures, try to escape this community, escape kind of being sacrificed. There is something weird going on within this community. Obviously, they have a goal in mind. Definitely some weird and strange stuff is going to happen towards the end. I'm going to leave all that for you guys to see. It definitely ends in an interesting way. And that's, about all that I'm going to say about it. A little bit messed up, but, I guess that's kind of okay once you see these monsters kind of trying to eat everybody. So I definitely approved of the monsters, approved of what they did. And even though it is a strange, bizarre ending, I approved of that. So I approve of a lot of that stuff. Definitely a strange movie, because there's not a lot of talking in it. So it is very hard to judge, like an acting performance or anything like that. So it's hard to say. I think they kept the excitement going pretty well. They didn't waste too much time getting into it. Let's see. Yeah, just short of an hour and a half. So, it kind of felt like that. As they kind of jump right into what is happening here, and then kind of keeps a good pace because she's continuing trying to get away from these creatures and get away from this community, but ultimately we're going to find out what is happening here and so forth, and it is some interesting stuff they got going here and how it ends. They do a decent job of also building some suspension and tension in certain parts in the back half. And definitely anytime, those creatures are around, I think there's some tension there. as you know, you don't know who's going to get eaten or what are they going to do, and so forth. But yeah, so with that, I think I'm going to give 3.5 pools of blood. I really enjoyed it. Obviously enjoyed those creatures and what they did. I think the 3.5 pools of blood scale is driven largely by my improvement of them and the blood and the funness there. I don't know. I just had a brief thought in my head. You know, maybe it reminded me a little bit of the Descent and the weird creatures in this, but yeah, they're a different creature. Maybe not. Or maybe just them trying to speak. I don't know. I just had a weird connection vibe there, but they're probably not too similar after all. But anyway, yeah. So you know, that's a large part of why I like the movie. And so if you're looking for something that's, you know, it does say here action horror, I would go with that. You know, I think they keep it going, they keep it moving. Obviously, they have to because there's not much dialogue to go along. No one's talking in this movie. So definitely if you're looking for a movie that's a little bit more going, not bogged down in the dialogue and that kind of thing, you know, this might be for you guys to check out. So again, 3.5 pools of blood for this one, and that is out of 5. So with that, horrorscorerreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews written in videos, certainly mostly video reviews as of late for a while now. So you can like and subscribe and do everything else that everybody else wants you to do here on YouTube. But if not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook, information down below as well, so feel free to reach out to me there. To talk about horror, this movie, anything else horror-wise, and down in the comment section, once you guys kind of catch this movie, what did you think of the creatures? Did you like them? Are you excited about them as I was? And also, you know, what did you think of, you know, basically having no conversation through much of this film? Definitely a different way to go. So yeah, with that, I guess I'll catch you in the next review, horror fans.